her next appearances here. She's authored several books, I understand. So we're anxious to listen to the DVDs and to maybe read her books. But we're going to get back up. Remember, you can call in 646-5858. We were talking about 12 ways to avoid identity theft, and last week we said one of the ways is to get off of mailing lists for pre-approved credit card offers. On each one of those offers, you'll see in the fine print the way that you get off of those mailing lists, so get off of those. A second way is to enroll for free alerts from your bank and credit card issuers so that they can flag unusual activity on your accounts. The third way to avoid identity theft is to ask your credit card providers to issue you the new smart cards, which are harder for someone to utilize. And then they also suggest maybe you getting the new ones request replacement plastic with your photograph. And then the fourth way to avoid identity theft is to safeguard your personal data on your electronic devices, and not having that so accessible. Your passwords, your ID numbers, all of those things should be kept very close to you and very private. A fourth way to avoid identity theft is 3 times a year access the free credit reports you're entitled to at the site annualcreditreport.com. Annualcreditreport.com. Each year you are entitled to 3 times a year you can access the free credit reports, and I get those on a regular basis, so I'll see whether my credit report is accurate, and if there's any bad information on there, wrong information, then I'm able to correct that. The sixth way, if you don't plan to apply for new credit, loans, insurance, or utility services, freeze your reports so crooks can't get new accounts in your name. Number 7, mail outgoing payments from a U.S. Postal Service mailbox or the post office, not from your more vulnerable home mailbox, because people can come right by, and a lot of people make it a habit. That's how they steal your identity. They come by your personal mailbox at your home and take your mail. The 8th way is to shred unneeded documents that contain your personal information. Don't just tear it up. Shred the information. Good afternoon, ask Elaine. Good afternoon, ask Elaine. Okay, I guess they can try again, and we'll be glad to answer if you wish to make a call in to us. Ask Elaine, 646-5858. We were just talking about ways to avoid identity theft, to keep people from stealing your identity and just ruining you financially. The 9th way is to ask if your internet provider offers free antivirus software. A lot of information is stolen off of the internet sites that you go to, and you provide information. Number 10, never click on links and emails from strangers. People that you don't know, or unfamiliar emails, things that look strange that you've never opened before. Never click on those links. It could lead to your information being stolen. The 11th thing to do is to carry your Medicare card. Its number is the same as your social security number, only for planned doctor or hospital visits. Don't carry it with you all the time. And the 12th way to avoid identity theft is never provide personal information such as your social security number to anyone unless you initiate the contact. If someone else calls you and they say they want this, or you get an email and someone says your account is in danger of being closed, please provide the following information, and they ask you for your username, your ID, and your date of birth, and all of this personal information, don't do it. don't do it. We will have an opportunity at some other time to review those 12 ways that you can avoid identity theft. That leads me to one other thing that I want to mention. There are a lot of people who are in the habit of using their young children's Social Security cards to take out, to open up accounts, utility accounts or whatever. And in the school system, years later, we would find that there were young people whose credit was messed up because there were people who had used their some form of their identification and had not paid bills, and then later on in life, these same children who did not know that their personal information had been used to open these accounts, these folks ended up with some real serious financial trouble. They were not able to get loans, or it impacted them in a negative way. So we would encourage parents not to use their children's Social Security numbers to open accounts, and we would encourage young people, just as soon as you're in position to start opening your own accounts and those kinds of things, to check your credit report to make sure there's nothing out there in your name that is adverse, that will keep you from enjoying financial security in life. So that's our finance information that covers what we wanted to get through as far as protecting yourself from identity theft. The call-in number is 646-5858. We are looking to hear from several of our special guests that we usually hear from. We do want to remind you that the election has been set for September 17th. The same people who pushed consolidation, the same people who pushed nonpartisan elections, same people went on to court, and it looked to me like the folks at the Board of Elections were working in league with the Republican Party. Of course, some of them are Republicans, and they have pushed this election September 17th. And we submit that it's too quickly done, that the district lines discriminate and disenfranchise and dilute black voting strength. The percentages in these 9 districts discriminate against you, and so we are not in favor of the September 17th election. However, and we're certainly not in favor of the nonpartisan elections. The Democratic Executive Committee of Bibb County has reaffirmed its position of opposition to nonpartisan elections and will continue its fight. So y'all stay tuned, and but the main thing for you to do right now is you become a registered voter. You vow that on any elections that come up that you are going to vote. You're going to vote early, you're going to have your voice heard, and you're going to make sure that everybody in your church, everybody in your family, everybody in your block, that they go, they are registered, and that they vote. That's what you can do to show your disgust at the Supreme Court's striking down protection under the Voting Rights Act. So these are some of the things that you can do. You ask, well, what can I do? That's what you can do. And so we encourage you to please do that. We are going to expect that Councilman Reverend Dr. Henry Ficklin will be calling soon with information from City Council and any other things that he needs to share. We earlier wanted to congratulate Sandy Powell, Miss Sandy Powell, who moved into the chairmanship of the Bibb County Democratic Party. We know that she will serve well. She's a strong leader. She's a businesswoman. She's retired from MetLife, has that financial and insurance background, and she believes in the Democratic Party and has worked very hard. She's a member of First Baptist Church and is associated with one of the Ballard Hudson graduating classes reunion, and she has just done an awful lot of stuff. She supports the candidates who are supportive of what's going on in this community, and she's a good, strong Democrat. And so we want to congratulate her, and we will be talking with her either today or at a later time. We also will be talking with Representative Tyrone Brooks, who was visiting here in Macon on last Saturday. Herbert Denard, Henry Ficklin, and I had lunch with Representative Brooks over in the District 3, Ward 1, and he expressed his gratitude to everyone who supported him as he was being attacked by the federal prosecutors. He knows that it's a lynching, a legal lynching that's going on as far as he is concerned, and it is because he has led the fight to bring to justice the folks, the murderers of those black couples and their unborn child many years ago at Moore's Ford, where the two couples were kidnapped. One lady was pregnant, and they were just brutally murdered, and the unborn child was cut from the mother's stomach. That was that was a brutal event in our history, but it's one where it's an unsolved murder. And Representative Brooks has led the fight. He has also led the fight along with Senator Lucas for the right of the folks in Quitman, Georgia. There were some black school board members who were removed from office. They were charged with voter fraud. Well, they beat the system because they were put back in office. They went back, they ran for election again, they won the elections again, and so they are still under attack. They've been indicted, they've never been brought to trial or anything, but these folks are holding that over their head. Tyrone Brooks and Senator Lucas have fought that fight, and the late Senator Robert Brown fought it as well while he was alive, to bring justice to the folks in Quitman, Georgia, where black elected officials were being put out of office for no reason. Trumped up charges were brought against these folks, and the Republican governor, suspended these folks from office. We are so grateful that Representative Brooks was not suspended from office. The three-member panel agreed unanimously that what he was being charged with had nothing to do with his service as a state representative, so he was not suspended, which leaves him, along with his lawyer, former Governor Roy Barnes, leaves them to fight another day. So we are just so pleased. Our prayers were answered, and the prayers of many other people. So we encourage you to continue your support for Representative Brooks, for Senator Lucas, for others who are put upon by these folks. We are still waiting for a call from Reverend Dr. Henry Ficklin, who is going to update us on the latest from City Hall. We have been in contact with Commissioner Lonzie Edwards, who will be calling at some time, and he will give us an update as to what's going on the county side. We do want to mention to you that the changes to the Voting Rights Act are being challenged, and President Obama has said that he is disappointed in the Voting Rights Act ruling that was handed down by the Supreme Court. We know that many of you have been watching the Trayvon Martin trial, and we would like to hear from you on that situation as well as the Voting Rights Act. Good afternoon, ask Elaine.
How are you doing, anybody? This is Henry Ficklin.
Doing great, Dr. Ficklin. How are you today?
I'm doing fine.
Great. Share with us what you have from City Hall or any other issues.
Well, you just ended by saying share with us on the Trayvon Martin situation, and I was watching it, and of course he has notified the judge that he will not testify in this trial, which I think is really, if you don't want to testify, then you got something to hide and don't want to be cross-examined, because he's already indicated in several various things that he's been recorded on that he cannot tell the same story twice. And of course, I think one of the most damaging things that has happened in this case is that when his professor came in and testified that he fully knew about the stand your ground law, that he discussed it in class, and that he made a name in that class. And then when he was on Sean Hannity's show, he openly declared that he didn't know anything about it, that he had never heard of it before. anyone who would make this kind of statement and tell that kind of untruth certainly had something to hide. So I know he doesn't want to be on TV.
Well, if I were he, I would not